Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's Wednesday, and it's great to be back here with the KITS community. So without further ado, welcome to your KITS Webinar Wednesday. My name is Franklin. I'm the Product App Specialist for KITS and your webinar host. Now, before we start, let's welcome Julia, your webinar moderator. Julia?
Hi again, my name is Julia. I'm the Marketing Specialist for KISP, and I will be your webinar moderator. So for the past week, we've been working towards improving your webinar experience, and we're excited to be back spending Wednesday afternoon with you. So to help us out, let us know if you're experiencing any issues with audio or video, just keeping in mind that there might be a slight delay between Franklin's voice and the iPad that we're reflecting onto your screen. And as always, if you have any questions for us throughout the webinar, please feel free to submit them in the chat box. You'll find it's located on the GoToWebinar control panel, and I will be monitoring all the incoming questions during the webinar, and we'll take a few minutes at the very end to answer them.
Okay, so we get all sorts of comments and suggestions about how-tos and features about KITS. So thank you so much for reaching out to us and letting us know what you're interested in seeing. Today, what we'll be doing is we'll be showing you best practices to making KITS part of your daily workflow. Julia will take you through today's agenda.
All right, so for today's agenda, we're going to be going over KITS Mobile versus some of the spec tools you may be comfortable using, and exactly what is KITS in your daily workflow. Also starting the day with KITS, including a syncing routine in every morning. And lastly, making KITS part of your daily workflow as a digital resource, which involves some product lookup, applying swatches, and product quick sheets. So Franklin will now continue with the webinar.
All right, thanks, Julia. So it's important to understand the basic use of KITS and how it can actually change how we learn, find, and spec furniture. But first, we need to understand what it truly is. So KITS is a concept and sales accelerator. Now, most of us would say it's there to create the visual, but in fact, it was created to make the overall sales process more efficient, cutting down that sales leg. That means reducing the time it takes for your client to approve the sale. It's not meant to be a spec tool, nor is it meant to generate an RFP. However, it does have these capabilities and more, but it truly allows full collaboration between you and your client to get down to what they really require for the project. Now, this results in a high-quality rendering, allowing the client to visualize the project the way they need to. You can then share that project and use it in your preferred spec tool to finalize that sale. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at how we can actually make KITS as routine as your morning coffee. So I'm now just going to go ahead and open up my KITS collaborator. And here it is. So basically what I do when I actually get into the office every morning is before I actually grab my coffee and start filtering through my emails, I like to plug in my iPad, making sure that I got a good charge on it. And then what I do is I routinely run a sync. Regardless of having, let's say, anything notifying me in the notification bell, what I like to do is run a sync anyways. And what does this really do? Well, what it actually does is it ensures that you have all the current data down to your iPad, to your KITS mobile account. We already know that sometimes there could be hiccups during the sync process when you're running a catalog, which may affect how you see some of the information. That could be some kind of, again, hiccup that occurred during the initial sync. So running a sync now, what that actually does is it allows KITS to connect to your account, making sure that it starts to pull down anything that's missing. Because remember, it already retains the information of the current catalogs and galleries that you already have saved in your iPad. All it's doing is it's looking at the cloud and saying, okay, you know what, I see that you're already on the sync list. We already have you. Let's try syncing anything down that may not be on the iPad version of your KITS mobile account. Okay, so that's primarily what it does. Depending on how long it takes, it may take a few seconds as it did here because, again, there wasn't much for me to actually pull down from the cloud. However, if it is pulling down any information, just remember to make sure that your iPad doesn't sleep. That may be going into your auto lock function of your iPad and making sure that's set to never or delayed as long, or making sure that your iPad doesn't sleep after you grab your coffee. While you're looking at your emails, you can make sure you're tapping on that iPad screen so that you can sync down all the current information that you need. All right, once that's done, you can actually go and start your day as normal. So now what we want to do for step 2 here is looking at how we can use KITS as a digital resource. So this is actually really important because, again, there's that misconception about kits, being much more than it is, as a visual tool. But really, what you can actually use this as a really good visual resource that will allow you to learn about product, to find product, to learn about items that way. Again, there's a slew of different things that you can use that can actually make your daily routine much more efficient. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up one of my catalogs. And I'm just going to go start a new project here. I'm tapping on Add Item. My catalog filter is going to automatically open. I'm going to go ahead and select the catalog that I need to review. So I may be new to this particular product line, and I know that it may be an important catalog for me to use during most of my sales. Depending on what I actually normally work on, this is something that I take to heart. I want to know as much about the product as possible, and sometimes just reading through a paper hard copy catalog or even just a digital PDF may not just do it justice for me. So what I want to do is I want to be able to look at the product and play with it. So this is where Kits becomes that important tool to use, because now we actually give you access to the entire catalog set from whichever manufacturer you want, and then we actually provide you with these nice visuals. Here I'm looking at it in thumbnail gallery, and what I can do is I can flick up and down, and I can go through the entire gallery, matching model numbers with graphics, looking at the actual text information. This all gives me the type of information that I need so that when I'm actually on my sales job, I have the confidence that actually going through these catalogs with my client and talking about them. So again, using Kits as a digital resource to learn is step one to actually making Kits part of your daily workflow. All right. Again, we're going to look at another way of using Kits, and that's obviously as product lookup. So Kits, again, is a great tool because it provides you these catalogs. And really what you can do is you can filter through the gallery by using the different filters that we have set here. So for instance, I can actually drill through the catalogs as I normally do with any spec tool that I use. Remember, we share a commonality between some of the other spec tools, such as Project Matrix, Cap Designer, 2020 Worksheet, Giza, CET Configura, as well as Z-Axis. What that data is basically how we actually see the catalogs. And as you can see, anytime I drill through a catalog, this navigational hierarchy begins to build. This is the same navigational hierarchy that I find in all those other spec tools. So again, there's a commonality between how we can search for items between all the different tools that we use. And here I'm in the actual catalog. What I'm looking for is a particular seat. I can actually drill through the actual catalog, find the seat that I want. Once I see it, I can go ahead and double tap it here in the actual submenu. And that will allow me to drag it into the scene and furthermore continue on with some other features of Kits through the basic product lookup. And here, once I actually have the item ready for me to bring into the scene builder, this is where I can start applying specifications. And this is, again, something that's really important for us to use because we may not know exactly how each product looks like based on the swatches that are available to it, and that's because there aren't digital resources or images for every single fabric swatch available that can be applied to these chairs. And now you have that resource. So again, this is a great way for you actually to work with your client, to go through items, even for you to just sit in your office and to find out how things get applied and how it looks, so that when the client actually, when you're actually meeting with your client and you're going through those important details, really what you can do is you can actually narrow down based on what they're describing to you and find those swatches for them. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap on Upholstery Finish. And then again, as you're already used to this, I already have all the fabrics here available to me. I can actually filter it through the grades as well as filter it through color. And here, if I'm actually, if I want to filter it down through grade, I can tap on the grade I want to filter down to, tap on the color I want to filter down to, and then select the swatch that I want. Once I'm done with that, again, I can tap on Next. I can continue on with the actual spec, and there it is. So again, this is simply using the tool for its most basic function. And again, this is as a digital resource for you to understand the actual items that you're working with, and also being able to find your items and getting used to actually using the tool and navigating it and gaining that confidence that you'll need when you're working in front of your client. Again, don't forget, this is no different than actually using a hard copy catalog that you're already used to. This is now just giving you a format to be able to find the actual item that you want to use and then begin to play with it. All right, so here I'm just going to zoom in, and you can really see the high quality imaging that we've created in KITS so that you can actually truly understand what this product looks like. All right, so again, there's different ways that you can actually use this. We looked at product lookup, drilling through the actual catalogs, but I'm just going to go back into the Add Item menu again. Here, I'm just going to reset my catalog filter. The best thing about KITS is you can intuitively find and create a granular search for the items that you do require, because what KITS does is it allows you to search by model number, and then it also allows you to search by the description area that's provided for each item. Now, the one thing here that the search function doesn't allow you to do is search like a Google search. So really what we need to do here is we need to actually find the model number in various ways. So one way you can actually find the model number is you can type in, let's say, half words or partial names of the actual model. So for instance, if I'm looking for that same chair, I can type in BBU and tap on search. And what KITS begins to do is it begins to search against all the catalogs and content that I have on my iPad, looking for anything that contains BBU in either the model name or in the description area. All right, and you can see how quickly I was able to filter down into finding all these items. I only have 6 results, and basically, here's the chair that I was looking for. All right, so again, it's really important to understanding how you can actually bring these items into KITS and how you can find them. Secondly, what you can do is you can utilize the actual filters as well. So here, I'm going to add a desk, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset all my my search function, and this time I want to find a desk that has, let's say, pedestals built in. Instead of typing in pedestals or desk, all I'm going to do is type in ped, and now I'm going to search for that. And you can see what it's actually doing again is searching all the content that I have on my iPad, resulting in way too many results. And that can get you know, quite overwhelming because I really need to narrow this down. You know, what are the key things that I do know? I do know that I need to find this particular desk in the manufacturer set that I was just using. Here today what we're doing is we're using the Technion Studio catalog. So first thing I want to do is tap on Catalog to use this filter, and I'm going to tap on Technion Studio. And what that actually does is it filters down to now searching all the items that have PED either in, again, the model name or in the description area. Okay? And it narrows it down based on the catalog that I'm now currently in. So here again, you can see that, again, I may have way too many results. I need to narrow that down even further. So I can actually go into the price function, and I can go into this filter. I know that you know, the cost of this desk is going to be roughly between $10,000 to $12,000. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left slider, and I'm going to find the $10,000 price range, and then I'm going to take the right slider, and I'm going to bring that down to narrow it as far as I can. Okay, and there's the desk that I want. I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And please don't judge. I know it's quite expensive, quite an expensive piece of furniture, but you know what? This client is well worth it, and they can definitely afford it. So let's go ahead and add a finish to that. And there we go. Okay, now I can drag it into scene. And again, what we've done here is we've simply used the tool for the most basic function. Here, I've created an easy scene. I was able to bring up the product in so many different ways. That was through drilling through the catalogs. That was using the filters in various ways and utilizing that digital resource. So it's really important to understanding this most basic function because, again, this is what you're going to have to be doing when you're in front of your client. This will give you the confidence to do actually a successful sales job. All right. Now that this is all done, I can go ahead and create a nice visual for them if I like. Again, the visuals are important to creating, because what this does is it allows the client to envision the project. Okay, and again, you can create as many multiple images as possible, because you don't know, again, what the client exactly wants. They always provide us with some kind of requirement, but there are those fine details that you really need to know that will surely help you sell that job much faster. And by showing them these images, going through the product lines, and giving them that chance to really see what you can do with kits, may actually get them to mention, oh, you know what, I think I actually need this as well. And that's that's the kind of information that you need really to closing that sale quickly. Okay, so here we can go ahead and create a rendering, or we can go ahead and continue on with sharing the actual project. And again, we can share the project in numerous ways. We can share the project to our peers. We can share the project by exporting that AutoCAD file to our design team, or we can simply enough create that project quick sheet. That allows us to send any kind of information to our client. And again, that's the importance of using kits at its most basic function. It's literally using it as simply that digital resource for you to learn about the tool, to find the items that you want quickly, and to be able to use this confidently in front of your client. So here we have this wonderful quick sheet. We can send it any way we want. We can protect our bid by showing them the details that we want. For instance, if we don't want to show them any kind of details, again, you can sum up what this actually looks like by sending them just a one-pager PDF of the actual project that you just worked on. All right, so really, again, it's that power in understanding how the tool works and getting used to its basic functions. The honest truth is we may overlook the power of this tool as a digital resource because of all the features that it does allow. But if you can master these basics, using the tool in front of your client will become that much easier as opening up that old manufacturer binder, grabbing all those swatches that you have to carry with you, and doing this all in front of your client. Okay? Now, there is an importance for our sales reps in the industry to be knowledgeable. And this is an important thing for all of us to be successful. The things that they need to know are the product knowledge, they need to gain about the catalogs and manufacturers that they sell. That's definitely a key thing for them to understand, as well as utilizing the tools such as kits that will help their sale or help make their sale that much easier. And that's pretty much it, everyone. We've now shown you how to utilize kits in your daily workflow, and knowing these tips and tricks will get you closer to closing those sales and quickly becoming that supercharged power user and our next Collaborator of the Week.